worldwide. That's right. Available in 100. Well, I say available. It's actually available in every country in the world. But,
Probably.
Well, and unless they have restrictions on the internet, unless it's like North Korea or something.
Yeah.
Probably not North Korea. I don't think we've broken into North Korea.
Wait till Starlink gets there.
That's right. To Skynet and
Skynet, yeah.
When Skynet gets to North Korea, then we'll be available in North Korea. But otherwise, available right now for the I was going to say the Vatican City. I was going to say Dominion or Dominica. No,
Dominica, Dominion, Tasmania.
Tasmania. We're available in Tasmania.
Yeah, we are.
So good day down there in Tasmania. All right. What are we talking about today? Candace Owens nailed it. I listened to this video clip a couple of days ago from it was actually yesterday, from Candace Owens, and she nails it.
She was on a baking show?
Yep, she nailed it.
Oh,
so
nice.
Rather than me say the words, I'm just going to close my mouth and let her say them. So today's special guest, Candace Owens. Who else we got going there? Oh, excuse me. That just snuck up on me. I apologize, Zach. You could knock that out or whatever. We have a Durcoat finished firearm of the day. And what else do we have? Oh, have you been lied to? Is the media attempting to manipulate you? I don't know. Maybe. And you say, Paul, come on, man. We get it. We know the media lies. We know that they manipulate. We know that they spin things to make it the way they want to tell the story, right? You say that. Now, you guys are out there, and I'm pointing at you, knife hand. And you say, why? You don't need to keep bringing it up because we get it. I obviously do need to keep bringing it up because we continuously have, we have people fighting us, telling us that we don't know, we're Trumpians and we're this and we're that and we're right-wing conspiracy people and blah, blah, blah. Like, brothers, we lay it out. We lay out the evidence for you to view and consider. And we have to do that. We have to make the case. And we're going to do it again today. So we've got all of that, and I'll promise to try and not cough anymore. Today's episode of Student of the Gun Radio.
Stand by for education, enlightenment, enjoyment, and entertainment.
He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He's here to say what needs to be said.
Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, please welcome your host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
Watch out. Watch out. Look out.
It's a bobcat attack my wife. A bobcat.
Yes,
You folks are like, what just happened? All right, if you didn't...
I would say 99% of people have probably seen that. And if you haven't, you're really missing out on that video.
If you're one of the 4 people on planet Earth that are not aware of the Bobcat Attack My Wife story, we talked about it in great detail on Friday's bonus hour and had, quite frankly, probably too good of a time. We probably had too much fun with that because, well, you know.
It's a bobcat attack my wife. A bobcat.
All right, that's last time I'm going to hit that button. But yeah, if you missed out on Friday's show because you're not a member of the grad program, you can. You're allowed. I mean, there's an invitations out there for you guys. So go to getsotg.com, follow the instructions, join the grad program, get in and miss nothing. That way you won't miss anything. All right. Did you guys want to talk?
Hello. Welcome to Student of the Gun Radio.
There's a note in there. I don't know who
Jared, it's hard for me to say things. Take it over.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So happy birthday to Professor Paul. Those of you that know. Those of you that didn't, now you know. It's Professor Paul's birthday, and we would love to, well, I don't know if Dad would or not, but I would love for you to wish him a happy birthday.
Well, thank you.
He's turning 30 for the 22nd time, 23rd time,
no.
86th time. I don't know.
49.
49.
No, I actually, if you're like, well,
What is that noise? Oh.
I can't see that video, but I believe that it sounds like an anime character.
Nah,
it sounds like
it's just very generic for children.
All right. So, Q&A, if you got Q's, we might have A's.
You probably have A's.
We probably have A's. Drop them into the show notes, not the show notes, but the comment section. You guys know what to do. Oh, man. We're going to go into the Duracoat finished firearm of the week. Well, let's just do it now.
That was a good shot. The fire extinguisher gun.
The fire extinguisher gun. Where is it? Oh,
it was on that video that Zach just
cool.
played.
Cool. So what do I have in my hot little hands today? We talked about this during our Brownell's bullet points. We're going to talk about today. This is the XM 177 Echo 2 or the BRN 177 Echo 2 because this actually was manufactured by Brownell's. It is a faithful reproduction of the original Colt submachine gun.
Would you say that you feel the burn?
I do feel the burn.
Okay.
I feel but the BRN 180 was a different feel the burn. But the BRN 177 Echo 2, and you just said submachine gun, Paul. You said Colt submachine gun, and you're wrong, and you're stupid, and now I'm never going to listen to you again because you don't know what you're talking about. Actually, if you go back to the early 1960s or the mid 1960s, when we were involved in Vietnam, the table of organization, the T&E, and the table of equipment,
testing and
equipment
what
had the XM-177 Echo 2 Colt listed as a submachine gun. And you say, isn't it more like a carbine? Well, whatever. What this actually ended up becoming is this morphed into the CAR-15, which was very, very popular for about 20 years or so. Before the CAR-15 came way before the M4. Everybody today is like, oh, M4 is like an M4. Why didn't they just call it the M4? Because they weren't calling anything the M4 back then. Back then, when this was born, they weren't calling anything M4. M4 didn't come for another 20, 30 years or so. So what did I do to it? Obviously, I coated the entire thing in slightly darker black. Now, the gun tattoos, the sexy lady gun tattoo that's right there on the receiver, I'll hold it up for the camera.
It shows, if you pull it back, it actually shows really well.
Okay.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
So the sexy lady, those templates came from freedomstencils.com, and the super cool Punisher looking skull there. This is part of the skull template sheets that you can get from Brownell's. They have numerous template sheets from Brownell's. You can get
Brownell's or Duracoat.
Not Brownell's. I'm sorry, Duracoat. Thank you for correcting me. From Duracoat. Yeah. So the whitish gray is actually Urban Mirage Flage it's Urban Mirage White from Brownell's. Not Brownell's. Dang it, Duracoat. Is this? I got Brownell's, Duracoat, and whatever. So if you go to Duracoat, you can look that up, and of course, slightly darker black. This gun if you guys, we did a whole video series about this gun. You should have seen pictures of it before. You had, of course, you had your aluminum receiver, the upper and lower, and the aluminum is a certain color, and then you had your Parkerized looking barrel and so forth. So that's a little bit of different color, and then you had your black plastic grips, your black plastic furniture, and they were slightly different color. So I decided, you know what, let's make it all one color, plus the highlights. And of course, that's a P mag sticking out of there. So I really, 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 really like this gun. It shoots fantastically well. It's super light as far as ARs are concerned. It doesn't have a lot of extra stuff on it to make it super heavy. It's a really handy gun, and it'll do everything you need it to do. And also the XM177 muzzle device, the flash hider, muzzle brake, whatever. It's not really a muzzle brake, I guess. It's a muzzle device, flash hider. I guess it's a brake. But it does a really good job driving some of the noise away from your face, you know. And when you have a short barrel gun, you need to push the noise away from your face, not toward your face or towards
depends on who you ask, don't you know?
Yeah, if you've got a gun that's sending the gas sideways into my face while I'm standing next to you on the range, I'm not going to like you very much.
And also, don't ever shoot that gun in the dark, because you will hate yourself. Yeah, I witnessed
guns in the dark.
What's that?
People don't shoot guns in the dark.
Oh yeah, I've witnessed at least twice in my life somebody be blinded by their muzzle flash.
Their muzzle flash.
Yeah. Sometimes it takes that, because it's just one of those things where if you don't know that it happens, then you learn when it does happen. You're like, "Ooh, I need to figure something out there."
Yeah, well, that's how I want to start my gunfight.
Blind and deaf.
I want to begin my gunfight blinding myself. By blinding myself. Yeah, that's what I want to do. No, I would make you blind. Quick side note. If you guys don't understand the difference between military ammunition and non-military ammunition or commercial ammunition, military ammunition, the reason it costs more, one of the reasons it costs more, is because they use flash-reducing powder. At least the United States of America does. I can't vouch for Russia or Lithuania or Poland or whatever. I don't know what they're putting in their ammo. But we, in our military, we deliberately put flash-reducing powder in our cartridges because we don't want our troops to be lit up by their own muzzle blasts in the dark. We want the enemy to be. So that is something. That's something that I actually was reinforced to me about 15 years ago when I was on the range when I was a small arms and tactics instructor. We did a lot of night fire. And I was surprised at how mild the muzzle flash was from the M4s. So, and the M4s obviously don't have that super cool muzzle device on them. The reason that they don't use, you say, well, if those muzzle devices are so great, why don't they put them on M4s? Because they're too fat to allow a bayonet. See, this has no bayonet lug because a bayonet ring will not fit over this. Let me do that again.
So many things.
The bayonet ring won't fit over that, so they just did away with the bayonet lug. That's the only downside to that is you can't put a bayonet over it. But on a short gun, you really, if you're talking about a 12-inch barrel, an 11-inch barrel or something like that, it's only that long. You have to put a bayonet on that. Bayonets are reach out and touch me kind of things.
Yeah.
Got a full-size rifle, that's where you put a bayonet. It reminds me of when they post World War II, when the submachine gun really was coming into its own, Uzis and the MP5 came along, and the Sterlings and all these things. And I remember doing research when I was younger, and how many of these submachine guns had bayonet mounts. Like, it's got a 6-inch barrel, bro. Yeah. Like, just chill with your bayonet there.
But it looks really cool.
I guess back then, if you wanted to sell a gun to the military, it had to have a bayonet lug.
Oh yeah, and the shorter the gun, the faster you can thrust.
Yeah.
It's lighter and you can thrust faster.
That's how Call of Duty works.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right. So the moral of the story today is if you'd like to have a super sexy, cool gun look like this one, then you can go to DuracoatFirearmFinishes.com and you can make a purchase and you can actually sign up for Duracoat University and become a smart guy and learn how to do it the really, really right way. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. But if you're one of these guys who's got some extra time, if you're an FFL dealer and you're looking to make a little bit extra ducats by refinishing people's guns, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. All right, we talked about Duracoat. Brownells obviously are our buddies, and if you're interested in this gun, you're like, man, that's pretty doggone cool. I like that. I'd be liking that. And this is when people say, oh, I looked at how much Brownells wanted for it, and I don't want to pay that much. Go buy the Colt version. If you think Brownells is charging too much for the XM, go look up the Colt version and then come back to me. I think Colt's charging $24.99 for them. I think the last time I checked. So yeah, and you come back, you're like, oh, comparatively, that's actually a pretty good price. Yeah, no kidding. Check them out at brownells.com. Yeah, and of course, our buddies at Crossbreed Holsters. What do they want you to do, Jared?
They want you to be dangerous on demand.
That's right. They want you to actually carry your freaking gun on you. So you can be dangerous on demand if you go to Crossbreed Holsters. Use the promotional code SOTG.
Oh, FYI, I don't know if you knew this yet or not, but Crossbreed just expanded. They moved to a new building that's now 30,000 square feet.
What?
Yeah, so I'm super excited. I'm very happy to see them growing like they are.
Wow.
It's such a great group of people. It's a great family.
That's the third time they've expanded since they've been with us.
Yep.
Because they were in well, I guess the fourth. They were in Mark's garage.
Yeah.
Then they moved out of Mark's garage into that little spot in the downtown. And then they outgrew that, so they had to get a second one. Remember they had the second place where Matt was researching?
Yep.
And a second one. And then they built this new, or what was the new facility. They built that from the ground up.
Yeah, I don't know if this new one is built from the ground up for them or not, but I was talking to our buddy Carol the other day. I sent her some update pictures of Ruth.
Oh,
yeah. So I guess she's expecting a new granddaughter as well. So congratulations.
Yeah, her kids are cranking out the grandbabies up there in Missouri. But Clayton can just chill out for a while. His sisters can handle the grandbaby production. He needs to chill out for a little while. Although when he does make babies, they're going to be monsters.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
He's going to make monster babies. Ah! If you guys you don't know, then
yeah. So thank you guys for supporting Crossbreed. You're allowing them to grow and serve more people. So continue to do that. Use that promo code SOTG when you go check out there. It gives you a discount, and it also shows your support through Student of the Gun.
That's right.
We really appreciate.
These folk need to know that you're actually paying attention. You know, because every month or 6 months or whatever, they're like, "Hey, why are we still supporting Student of the Gun? Are any of their people actually listening or paying attention or doing? I don't know." And don't forget to thank them for making slightly. You know what? Can we talk about Archer for a second?
Sure.
I'm kind of sad, and this isn't a spoiler because the season 11, is it season 11 of Archer? Yeah. Because season 7, 8, 9 were coma dreams, right? So you remember in season 6, he gets shot at the very end. And if you haven't seen it yet, it's been out for 5 years. So don't cry to me that I'm spoiling it for you. It's been 5 years. So if you don't know the plot to season 6 by now, then you probably don't want to. But I ran out of shows to watch, and I had actually gone back and I started at the beginning and I was rewatching Archer. You know what I mean? I watched Danger Island and I did the LA Noir one, whatever that one was called. and then of course the outer space one, and that of course leads into season 11. Now I knew that George Coe, the guy who played the voice of Woodhouse, I know that he had died. He actually died a few years ago. And then Ron Liebman, who was the voice of Mallory Archer's husband, Ron Cadillac, he actually was Jessica Walter's husband for like 30 years or 28 years or whatever. I don't know. And he passed a little over a year ago. I didn't know that Jessica Walter just passed. I didn't realize. Somehow it slipped under my radar.
Huh.
But a few weeks, like a month ago now, it's basically been about a month ago, Jessica Walter passed. And so now Zach and I were having a conversation about this. I haven't looked it up or done the Hollywood Insider thing, but I kind of doubt that they're going to make a season 12.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, I'm sad.
How do you make a season 12 without Mallory? I mean, you can do it without. They did the whole like trying to replace. That's what they did in season 11. Was they spent the whole thing trying to replace Woodhouse because obviously Archer was in a coma,
which was pretty funny.
Yeah. So Archer was in a coma the whole time, and they also, I think they've kind of they're kind of punting because they used to do 13 episodes because that's what 13 a year. Then they started getting lazy and only doing 8. They only did 8 for like the last 4 seasons. And of course, H. John Benjamin's really, really busy with Bob Burgers.
Yeah.
And making Coca-Cola commercials and stuff. So it was the Coca-Cola that H. John Benjamin did?
I'm not sure.
It was the one in the movie theater. We were sitting in the movie theater and that voice came on and we're like, it's Archer. A few years ago.
That's funny.
Maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. And so I watched it and season 11 was pretty good. It was pretty funny. But I just don't see him coming back. And so I watched the last episode and it kind of hit me like, that's probably it. But to be fair, did you ever watch those knuckleheads up in Canada, the Letterkenny?
No.
Oh, that's one of their things. Like if somebody says "to be fair," everybody else repeats it back to them like 8 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah. To be fair is the Letterkenny thing. To be fair. But to be fair, I think they had a good run. They probably had a longer run than everybody anticipated they were going to.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know, go back and watch season 1.
Yeah.
Season 1 of Archer is savage.
I think it's the best one.
It's shockingly savage. I was sitting in my chair thinking, dude, what? Did they say what?
I don't remember that.
What?
Yeah.
And also, it's been out for so long now that you kind of forget. Go back and watch Bob's Burgers season 1. Bob's Burgers season 1 Louise was savage. I mean, yeah, you just have to go back and watch it. She was shockingly savage, slapping people. Oh, so that's a little pop culture for you guys. I don't want to talk about pop culture. I want to talk about guns. Somebody just wrote a letter to P.O. Box 405, Boulder, Colorado, demanding a complete refund of their money for today's purchase price. But unless you put a self-addressed stamped envelope in there, you get nothing.
Those of you that want to talk about guns, I just went to brownells.com and it says Polymer 80 frames are still in stock. They're still available. So go get them while you can.
Get it.
I clicked on this Brownells Armory thing. I love this because they made it super easy to find all the stuff that's in stock rather than having to sift through the site. And you click on something that you really want and you get there to the checkout page or the product page and you're like, out of stock. Crap. So they made it easy for you with the Brownells Armory. If you just go to brownells.com, you can find that directly there on the homepage.
Yeah, you know what's my favorite thing in the whole world, Jared?
Bobcats.
Sarcasm. But besides sarcasm, I was looking for a Ruger 1022 stock, right?
Oh, so you could use the rifle for your Olympic shoot that you're going to do?
Yeah. So I type in, because the one that I have right now is a Butler Creek, right? The one that's on the gun that I shot the jackrabbit with the other day. So somebody asked me, they're like, hey, dude, that's a cool looking stock. Where did you get that? And I said, oh, it's a Butler Creek stock, right? So I type in Butler Creek 1022 stock into my search engine. The top 4 results are all for companies who have them listed out of stock, discontinued. And it's not just out of stock, discontinued. Why is that in the top 5? If that product, all right, I'm going to just be a jerk right now. If that product is discontinued, now if it's out of stock, I get that. You're just waiting for the manufacturer to ship you more so you can sell them. Great. But if you're the M company, and you got all of these listings on your website for discontinued products, pay somebody to go through your store and get rid of the discontinued products so they stop popping up in my freaking search engine. All right.
There's a developer out there that can write a script that will automatically hide the discontinued products. And it'll probably cost you a lot less.
And it was actually 3 different companies.
If anybody's listening right now and they have that problem with their store, let me know. I have access to a developer or a few developers that can help you. So let me know that.
Yeah, that was just annoying as crap to me. I put it Butler Creek 1022 stock. And then they come up and product discontinued. If the product's discontinued, that means you're not going to make any more ever. Why is it still a product on your freaking store?
I mean, even Zach, who manually does this, we don't have any code because in our store that hides discontinued products because it doesn't happen very often for us. Yeah. I assume it does for the bigger companies. It probably happens more often. Yeah. But Zach does a really good job at just making sure that things that we actually don't have and that we're not going to sell again are not on the public store. So thank you for that, Zach.
And I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I really wanted to find a Butler Creek 1022 stock. Yeah. And so I'm sifting through all these discontinued. I'm like, But the good news from that story is I have a really cool, sexy 1022 stock that has been promised to me. It's been promised to me. So when that gets here, when that arrives, I will let you guys know. As soon as it arrives, I'll let you guys know. And
did you take a block of wood and a Dremel and make one?
No.
Look how sexy this is.
I just think I should do that. I should take a 2x4 and some barrel bands or some some hose clamps, some oversized hose clamps, and just screw it down onto the. There you go. Pew pew pew.
Sent with lasers. So go support Duracoat, Crossbreed Holsters, and Brownells. Brownells.com, crossbreedholsters.com, and DuracoatFirearmFinishes.com.
All right. Zach, go ahead and, if you're a new listener, close that hole under your nose and listen louder.
Attention, new listeners. We produced a complimentary online training course called 7 Training Tips That Could Save Your Life. Get instant access by joining the Student Lounge for free at studentofthegun.com. Do you watch Student of the Gun TV, read the blog, and follow us on Facebook? If you answered no to any of these questions, you are wrong, but you can easily fix yourself. Go to studentofthegun.com to find everything SOTG.
Oh, before we get any farther, all of you guys who are in the Patriot Fire Team, if you're a Patriot Fire Team guy, if you've been paying attention for a while, and if you watched our or listened to, either watched or listened to or got our email or whatever. Oh, never mind. Just kidding. This is when it pays to get the notify me thing. So they had shutter bombs. The smoke grenades we talked about the other day.
Oh yeah,
had white in stock. I got a notification on my phone that says, "Hey, the professional, the big ones, the ones that are the size of a beer can, white is in stock." So I jumped on right then, and I ordered. I ordered them, and I got them. Now the white originals, the regular size, the normal size ones that are on sale for $10.99, those white smokes are in stock. And let me see if the dual vent ones are in stock. Okay, and the dual vent ones are in stock. So, but the big ones went fast.
Yeah,
they went fast because I actually, it was just a couple of days ago I got that notification because I clicked the notify me when button, and I immediately got an email from them. Yeah, and I got it on my phone, and it said, "Hey, these are in stock. Do you want them?" And I was like, "I better grab them." So I did. But if you guys, if you're in a Patriot Fire Team, if you're a part of a Patriot Fire Team, you really should have some type of a nonverbal communication tool, signaling tools, and smoke is part of that. It's part of the kit. So we've got a little thing in there, studentofthegun.com/shutterbombs. If you follow the link, then that helps support the show. There you go. All right. Moving on. Is the media lying to you? I don't know. You tell me. I just want to read this headline. So if you guys, in case you've been living under a rock, police in Columbus, Ohio were forced by the actions of the deceased to use deadly force. CNN runs a story. Headline of story. Police officer shot and killed teen girl holding a knife, comma, body cam shows. Columbus police officer shot, or this is the story. A Columbus police officer shot and killed a black teenage girl. So they capitalized the word black. Did you notice that, Jared, in the story?
yeah.
Is that normal English?
No.
Like if I said a black, I said the dog was brown. Would you capitalize the word brown? I saw a white cow in a field. Would you capitalize white? No. Why did they capitalize the word black in the story? You think that was an accident, Jared? Or do you think it was deliberate?
After she allegedly attempted to cut two females with a knife. According to officials, and body camera footage, the body cam footage has been put in slow motion and blurred by Columbus Division of Police.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and go back.
That's funny. CNN, the CNN story, their source is CNN.
The source is CNN. So the story from CNN source is CNN. Number one, if you don't believe that the media attempts to sway you, see, they can't deliberately lie here. All right, the knife, there's too many witnesses to the presence of a deadly weapon, which is a knife. So they couldn't just brush it away. So they're like, oh, well, she was holding a knife. Yeah. She wasn't just holding a knife. She was in the process of trying to stab someone to death. No, you don't know she was going to stab her to death, Paul. It was like when they showed it on the ground after she was shot. I saw a picture of it on the ground. It was a large kitchen knife. So probably like an 8-inch blade kitchen knife. If I stab you with an 8-inch blade kitchen knife, if you don't die, it would be surprising. Hey, Jared, was it you who's talking, you and I and Jeff were talking about people don't understand. You can slash someone 100 times and they don't die, but you only need to penetrate 2 to 3 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah. An 8-inch kitchen knife will make you die. More people die in America from being stabbed with kitchen knives than die from being shot with AR-15s. No, that's not a convenient truth. Well, but it is. It's true. More people die from being stabbed with kitchen knives in America than die from being shot with rifles.
Source, student of the gun.
Source, student of the gun. And the other thing I wanted to point out in this story, and we're going to move on to the next one, is how they deliberately capitalized black in the story. If a non-black person was shot and killed, would they put their skin tone on there? Would they put white, brown, Caucasian, whatever? No, because what does CNN know? They're going for they're advertising to LCD. They're going for the lowest common denominator.
They're trying to create, they're creating a victim class.
They're creating a victim class. What they're trying to do is mean, evil police kill harmless black teenage girl. She was just standing there with a knife in her hand. And they know that the majority of their audience will just take that and run with it. They'll take that and they'll go with it. They'll be offended. They'll go march in the streets. They'll whatever. So the next one, NBC Nightly News busted by Fox for omitting certain parts of the story. What? Jared,
NBC Nightly News under fire for editing out key part of 911 call before Mikaya Bryant shooting. Clip of call omitted woman telling police grown girls were trying to stab us. Critics bashed NBC Nightly News Wednesday after the Peacock News Network's flagship evening news program omitted key details from a report on the police-involved shooting of Mikaya Bryant in Columbus, Ohio. Media Research Center news analyst Nicholas Fondacaro called out NBC News for editing out a portion of a frantic 911 call in which a woman is heard saying, quote, "It's these grown girls over here trying to fight us, trying to stab us. Get here now," end quote. NBC did air a brief audio clip from the call in which the woman shouts, "We need police officer here now." The details of the 911 call are what the officers use.
That's all they have to go.
That's all they have to go on when they show up to this, whatever scene it is.
Yeah.
So just getting a call that says we need a police officer here now is totally different than it's a grown girl over here, grown girls fighting us, trying to stab us. Then they know that deadly force is involved.
Yeah. If you get a 911 call that says such and such is trying to stab my grandma, then you say, there's a knife present or a screwdriver or something, and it's a deadly force situation. There's a big difference between people are standing in their driveway arguing and people are standing in the driveway trying to stab other people.
Fondacaro also drew attention to the portion of the police body cam footage shown by NBC, which he noted did not show viewers the knife in their attacker's hand just before the shots.
Yep. So they edited. So NBC News selectively edited the story.
And that wasn't on accident. We already know this.
We know this. All right. For those of you who are my age, when the Rodney King verdict or the Rodney King thing, Rodney King was actively fighting police officers, right? He was high as a kite. He was a big, big man, and he was actively fighting police officers, right? Well, somebody with a camcorder, this is way before phone cams. This was kind of crazy because somebody actually had a VHS camera, recorded a video. The actual video was almost 5 minutes long. The national news cut out 30 seconds of that and ran that 30 seconds of him being hit with PR-24s the whole time. They didn't show him lunch. They didn't show him. Back then, they had the old tasers. They tried to tase him. It didn't work. And they tried to grab him. Didn't work. He was, like I said, high as a kite, huge guy, throwing police officers around, right? And what they didn't show was how a female California highway patrolman pulled up, whipped out her gun, and was going to shoot him. And the guy, one of the guys who got convicted, stopped her from doing that. Right? He's told her, no, we can get him. We can get him.
He's probably like, damn, I should just let her shoot him.
I should, yeah, next time just step back and let that chick shoot him. All right, cool. But way back in 1992, the media was already engaged in active lying, in lies by omission. They took a 30-second clip and played it over and over and over and over and over again. They didn't play what would happen before. They didn't play what happened after, just that one little part. And the whole country was just out of sorts. It's exactly what they did with this Chauvin thing, with this George Floyd thing. They took that one little clip, the I can't breathe, played it for none of the resisting arrest before, none of the after, just that little thing. And Americans are so stupid and weak-minded and spineless, or just prone to violence, or just looking for an excuse, right? All right, so right now, here's what we know. Number one, CNN lied by omission. NBC lied by omission. Why? Because they're trying to get people ginned up. They're trying to create, last week, Dan Bongino and Project Veritas, CNN guy. Oh, yeah. COVID's a ratings bonanza. What do we need to get you to stick? What do we need to do to get people to stick to their TVs and not leave their TVs? Get the death clock up there. Get the numbers up higher. We need more numbers. We need more deaths. So now, and there's a meme out there right now that says, people are no longer scared of COVID. Switch to racism. Switching to racism. Have you seen that? It's the Dr. Evil thing with Frau Barbissina. He goes, and he has his phone. He goes, people aren't afraid of COVID anymore. Switch to racism. Switching to racism!
That's funny.
That's exactly what they're doing. The Columbus police were like way out in front of this. They immediately, Jared, who was it that was 5-6 years ago screaming for body cameras? Was it conservative Republicans?
No.
The inner city Democrats, the urban inner city thugs were screaming for body cams on police officers. We've got to have it. Got to have it. Got to have it. Right? Okay. So what do? We did it. They spent $1 billion. Taser is worth $1 billion now because Taser is the first one to come out with the body cams. Right? So every department in the world had to come up with body cams. So we did. Now we can show you exactly what happened. So we show you, citizens, exactly what happened, and you don't care. So you see what happened. There is no he said, she said. You see actually real time what the officer saw. And they still don't care. And they still want to riot. And they still want to protest. And they still want to burn the city down. Even though their saint was wrong. Now, we're going to go right now to Candace Owens. If you don't know who Candace Owens is, you need to hip yourself. You need to do a little bit of research. But she just put out a video dealing directly with this situation. And rather than you listen to me, what I want you to do is I want you to listen to the voice of an intelligent black woman and listen to what she has to say about it. Zach, you got it queued up? Please.
Me, especially over the last 2 weeks. What's up, Instagram? I wanted to do this quick live. So a lot of people have been reaching out with me, especially over the last 2 weeks, I think, because they are starting to realize It's taken a lot of years for people to realize that there is something to what I am saying about the fact that the media is trying to get Black America to celebrate degeneracy. And they are trying to do this by using various athletes and artists and glorifying them and getting them to say statements that direct Black people into a nefarious direction. So I want to comment right now on the situation going on with Mikaya Bryant, because if you at any moment have doubted what I have been telling you, what I have been telling Black Americans in terms of what the goal is, then this situation should add clarity for you. I don't know what Black Lives Matter was ever supposed to be about, okay? I really don't. I've always thought it was a fraudulent organization, and I saw it coming from a mile away, and, you know, congratulations to Breonna Taylor's mom for calling them frauds after her daughter's face was used to collect money. If this situation today with Mikaya Bryant, if that's how you say her name, Mikaya Bryant, the 16-year-old, who was in the process of trying to stab another Black woman to death and got shot and killed by police officers who saved the life of the Black girl who she was trying to kill, okay? She was trying to kill her. That is what you do. That is what you are trying to accomplish when you take a knife and you try to stab someone repeatedly. You are trying to commit murder, okay? This woman, young lady, if you'd like to call her, got stopped in the middle of a crime, in the middle of an attempt at murdering someone by a heroic police officer who shot and killed her before she could finish the act. In a sane society, every single person in the world would say, thank God that officer was there to stop the crime from happening. But we don't live in a sane society, because now the goal in this insane society is to make Black people believe that we have to fight to protect our criminals, that we have to fight to allow our criminals to live through every situation, no matter what they are doing, even if they are trying to kill someone, okay? So Jacob Blake, who admitted that he had a knife, is now a hero and has his name put on the back of the helmet of the New Orleans Saints because he was shot and paralyzed by police officers, despite the fact that a Black woman was victimized by him, despite the fact that a Black woman had called the police on him because he was visiting her when he wasn't supposed to, despite the fact that a Black woman had alleged that he had digitally raped her, okay? He was put on the back of an NFL helmet. Now you have Mikaya Bryant. Again, I'm not sure if I'm saying her name right. I really don't care how I'm saying her name. I'm going to be honest with you. Now you have Mikaya Bryant, a 16-year-old who almost kills someone, and LeBron James decides to post a picture of the heroic police officer and say, "You're next," on his Twitter. I took a second. I thought to myself, okay, you know, before I react to this, maybe he's making a mistake because he doesn't know all the details. Because as we know, the media lies and pretends the person is a good human being. Mikaya Bryant's mother came out, even though Mikaya was a foster child, and she said, oh, she was about peace, something along those lines. That her daughter was really a peacemaker at the end of the day. I have never seen a peacemaker try to stab someone to death with a knife, but okay, Mikaya Bryant's mom, we'll believe you on this one. But maybe LeBron James got deluded by that quote and thought it was real, and he reacted because he deleted the tweet. So I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. But no, he has now followed up on the tweet and essentially said he only deleted it because he didn't want it to be taken out of context. And really, he's hopeful that Mikaya Bryant gets justice, that her family gets justice, because he is tired of seeing Black Americans killed by police officers. Let's just reset that. He's okay with seeing Black Americans get killed by other Black Americans, because that is exactly what would have happened if a police officer didn't show up. He's just upset when a Black criminal gets taken out by a police officer. What the hell are we even talking about right now in society? How do you not see how degenerate that is? How do you not understand how poisonous that is? That a man with his following is out here saying that Mikaya Bryant deserves justice for what? She got justice when she tried to kill someone and somebody intervened. That is literally the function of the police. If your husband, your loved ones, or a friend of yours, and you got into a dispute and someone charged at you with a knife, would you be hoping that that police officer didn't intervene on the basis that that person was maybe black? Oh, don't intervene, please. Please, allow me to die. Allow me to be stabbed to death because I just couldn't bear. I couldn't bear the idea of you shooting this person that's trying to kill me. We are losing all morality in this society. These people like LeBron James, he's a coward. He's disgusting. I am now physically disgusted by LeBron James. I think he is despicable. I think LeBron James should have all of his sponsorships taken from him for putting the face of a heroic police officer and saying you're next to him and then doubling down, okay? And turning around and saying that this girl deserves justice. I think he's despicable. If the situation was reversed, if a black officer had shot a white person, okay, who was charging another white person and saved the life of that other white person that was being charged, and somebody else had stood up and said, a black police officer had put a picture of him up and said, this guy, he's next, basically trying to signal to the world that this person is somehow in the wrong, they would have had all of their sponsorships removed. They would have had to step down from the NBA. No questions asked. But LeBron James, I guess, gets to be celebrated because he's black, so he gets to experience black privilege, right? He can just say whatever the hell he wants, like he did a while ago when he said, we literally can't go outside. We're being hunted down. All of these things, he gets to add to this rhetoric. He gets to add to this divisiveness. And he gets to encourage black people to, again, believe that as criminals, you can kill someone and you still have the right to life. Nobody should intervene when you are trying to kill someone. That is what Mikaya Bryant was doing. She was trying to kill someone. If you are still asleep and you do not understand what is happening right now, let me tell you what's going to happen next. Police officers are going to start resigning in mass resignations. People are not going to be signing up for the police academy. Do you want to know whose neighborhoods are going to be the first that are affected by that? Do you think it's LeBron James's neighborhood? LeBron James lives in a $100 million house in Bel Air. From what I've heard, in Bel Air, it's $100 million. Do you think LeBron James, when these police officers resign and they say, what is the goddamn point of me trying to protect this neighborhood, of me risking my life, of me running towards a scenario in which a woman is trying to violently stab someone to death? If I'm only going to be treated like I'm an animal by people like LeBron James who don't even touch their own door handles? You think he's ever done a ride along to see what police officers have to do on a day-to-day basis? Is that what you want? If that's what you want, if you would like for police officers to simply stop policing, raise your hand. And let me tell you something. That's what you're going to get. And let me tell you something else. That wish is a racist one, because we all know which are the neighborhoods that need the most policing. We all know that there are minority neighborhoods where the police are called the most to deal with violent crimes. We all know that this scenario is going to lead to more Black death. So if you're a person who goes, well, we just got new police officers, you know exactly what you are doing. I don't blame police officers right now if they want to step down. I don't blame them. Personally, I would almost respect if police officers went on strike. I would respect it. You know what? Let the neighborhoods turn into Gotham City. Let the neighborhoods, let them riot, let them loot, let them burn. If they want to murder one another, and what would be the purpose of a police officer wanting to hold that badge, have that badge anymore, when this is how we treat them? LeBron James is a despicable human being for this. Despicable. I have no respect for him. If you are a fan of LeBron James, if you are a person that likes basketball, you should...
Candace Owens on fire and fuego.
I have nothing to add to that.
Nothing to add to that.
Nothing.
Everything she said was laser beam spot on. And anyone who would attempt to debate what she said is disingenuous, and they're intellectually dishonest, and they are a liar.
What she doesn't realize, though, is that what she's saying is going to happen to the police force has been happening.
It's been happening.
It's already been happening.
Yeah. No, in major cities, they can't get people to be cops. And the ones that they are recruiting to be cops, you know what they're doing in major cities? They're lowering the standards. Remember when did we not come to this microphone, and say one of the cities actually removed the criminal background check part?
Yeah, it was Minneapolis, I think.
Yeah, because of it was misdemeanors. So if you'd been convicted of misdemeanor offenses, because it used to be if you were convicted of any criminal offense, You can't be a cop. Sorry, you can go be something else, but you can't be a cop, right? So they're like, well, everybody got some misdemeanors, man. Everybody got some convictions, as long as it's not a felony. Like, what? That's where we're at now? Because they can't get, because upstanding self-starters, individual, motivated people don't want to be cops. And those who are cops want to get out as soon as they can get out. And those who stay, like, remember what happened in Baltimore 2 years ago? They're like, oh, the police officers they're not responding fast enough. No kidding. Because they basically told Baltimore cops, if you show up, you're wrong. If you arrest a black man, or even if a black man is in the middle of stabbing someone to death and you shoot him, we're going to crucify you. So what did they do? They would sign on to duty. They'd drive over to Dunkin' Donuts and they'd sit around and drink coffee and eat donuts or smoke cigarettes or check their email or whatever. They're not going to be proactive. They're not going to be actively on patrol. They're not going to go out and try and stop crime before it starts, because they know that they're going to be wrong no matter what they do. I realized this years ago. I came to this microphone and said, the moment I realized that it wasn't the criminals that were against me, that it was the city fathers and the politicians and stuff, the moment I realized that, I was like, nope, I don't need to do this. And I've been on record. You could not pay me to go back and be a police officer. Because you expect the criminals to be against you. I mean, that's kind of a given. But when the people who hired you, your chief, the mayor, the councils, and so when they're against you, when their first reaction is to crucify you and throw you under the bus for political expediency, what's the point? What's the point? Oh, people say, well, my son wants to be a police officer. My daughter wants to be a police officer. I tell you, you should talk them out of that crap. Yeah. Isn't it a noble pursuit, Paul? You did it. Didn't you think it was a noble pursuit when you did it? Yeah, I did. But America doesn't deserve good cops right now. American cities, Minneapolis, Columbus. All right, Columbus, let me go ahead and tell you one. Who runs Columbus, Jared? Which political party you think runs Columbus?
Definitely conservatives.
Yeah, the conservative Republicans. No, Cincinnati, Columbus, Cleveland, Akron, Toledo, all run by Democrats. Cincinnati. How many times we talked about Cincinnati Police Department and how crappy they were? They're run by a crappy chief who was elected by a crappy Democrat. Ladies and gentlemen, American cities don't deserve good cops. They don't. And what they're going to end up with, all the, like I said, the intelligent, motivated self-starters are going to resign. They're going to or retire, or they're not going to become police officers. And the people who do become police officers aren't going to be the ones you want. They'll be like the ones in Minneapolis. What was his name? Ahmad Mabah Mohammed, the first Muslim American immigrant police officer who was on the job and murdered a 911 complainant. Woman called 911 because she thought there was a burglar or something. She comes out to the car, and Mohammed murders her straight up. Pulls out his gun, shoots her. Bam! Did they burn the city down for that blonde-haired white woman who was murdered by a Minneapolis police officer? No, they didn't. But then a career criminal dies in police custody and we have to burn the city down. Okay, whatever. America doesn't deserve good cops anymore. I'll go on record. They don't deserve it. And Candace Owens, she was en fuego. She was on fire. She was on fire, and she hit every point like a laser. So you might want to share that. Share that Candace Owens interview with your friends and neighbors. If you are a person of color in my audience and you don't understand what the media is trying to manipulate you into and what scumbags like LeBron James are trying to manipulate you into, you need to. You need to understand that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was enough of a brain dump for today. We're going to be back on Wednesday with more fun and frivolity and good stuff for you guys. Until then, remember, you're a beginner once.
You're a student for life.
We appreciate your reviews. If you haven't left a review or updated yours recently, head on over to Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast player to voice your opinion. Don't forget to join us at the Student Lounge, a place for like-minded individuals to learn, connect, and support each other. No chicanery will be tolerated. Remember to check studentofthegun.com daily for new, free content and giveaways. Watch, listen, read, shop, and connect at studentofthegun.com. Are you a social butterfly? Connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for new content each and every day at Student of the Gun. Watch Student of the Gun TV and videos from our trusted partners on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Chromecast, and even AirPlay. Go to studentofthegun.com for direct links, and remember, you're a beginner once, a student for life.